Hello, this is Bobby, aka Paginator, and I am here with a haul slash kind of little unboxing thing. Anyway, I am here to share some more bookish stuff with you, and you can see that I am not in my usual location. I am actually visiting family, and this is the most bookish place in my parents' house, and you can tell they're not bookish people because this is it. I'm sitting on the floor with a teeny tiny bookshelf, and here we are. Nevertheless, I am here to share some YA bookish stuff. Now, this first book, I don't actually know if it's YA or not. I picked it up at like a chain store like Shopko and on their bookshelves, and it just looked like an interesting story. And the characters are teenagers, so I guess technically you could call it YA anyway. But this is The Last Boy and Girl in the World. And when I first saw it, I thought that the title said The Last Boy and Girl World. And I thought, well, that looks interesting. But then I thought, oh, yeah, you have to read the little tiny words in the title too. Anyway, this is by Siobhan Vivian. And she also wrote a book called The List. This is... Well, I'm just going to read the back of the book because it's super short and it gives a good idea of what we're talking about here. What if your town was sliding underwater and everyone was ordered to pack up and leave? How would you and your friends spend your last days together? While the adults plan for the future, box up their possessions, and find new places to live, Keely Hewitt and her friends decide to go out with a bang. There are parties in abandoned houses, canoe races down Main Street. The goal is to make the most of every minute they still have together, and for Keely that means taking one last shot at the boy she's loved forever. So again, this just seems like an interesting, cute idea for a story, and we'll see how it turns out. Alright, now the other 4 books that I'm going to show you today I bought at an independent bookstore called The Book Table in Logan, Utah, and if you're ever in that area, head over to the bookstore. They have upstairs an Amazon outlet store, like surplus area, and one of the books today I actually got from that area on a really good deal, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But the first book I got in their young adult section is The War I Finally Won by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. And this is the second book or sequel to The War That Saved My Life. And so instead of telling you about what the second book's about, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the first book because I don't like to talk about second books in the series. Anyway, in the first book, The War That Saved My Life, we have our main character who was born with a club foot, and she, her mother was a really awful person, and she never took her to the doctor and did anything to fix her foot. And Ada is her name, and that's right, I had to remind myself. But when World War II happens, as some of you may know, this is a real thing actually. A whole bunch of children were shipped out of London to the countryside of England to try to avoid the bombing attacks that were happening when the Nazis were just kind of carpet bombing London and Glasgow and like the big cities in the UK. So Ada, his little brother, is going to be taken to the train station, and she actually crawls down the street behind him because she wants away from her mother, away from the city so badly. And so the two of them get sent to live with this woman who has a horse. And Ada really learns to love this horse, and they kind of form this family. Now, the sequel is going to be more about Ada and the situation with her, and does she have to go back to London? What's going to happen to her? I'm hoping she gets to stay in the country, and judging by the cover, I'm like really hoping so because she's on a horse, and you know, there we go. Okay, the next book is The One Memory of Flora Banks. Now this is much prettier than probably what you can see on camera. Now if I get it towards the light, you can see it's kind of shimmery here. This is about a girl who has a major problem with memory loss, and her memory resets itself several times a day. When she was 10 years old, she had a tumor removed from her brain, and it took away her ability to make new memories. But what actually happens is she kisses this boy Drake, who is her best friend's boyfriend, and she can hang on to that memory for some reason, and it sticks there. And she thinks, well, Drake is responsible for resetting my memory and making me whole again, so I must have Drake. Probably not remembering that Drake is her best friend's boyfriend. So let's see what happens to Miss Flora Banks in this book. Alright, now the next one I'm sure many of you have heard of, and I almost didn't buy this, but I'm like, no, I have to. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Now, if you haven't read anything by Holly Black, I highly recommend it. She's a super fun, super cute lady. She writes a series with Cassandra Clare, and she writes many on her own. This is a picture of her. She has blue hair. I mean, who doesn't want to visit the imagination of someone who has cute pixie blue hair? But anyway, this is The Cruel Prince. And it says, Jude was 7 when her parents were murdered, and she and her 2 sisters were stolen away to live in the treacherous High Court of Fairy. 10 years later, Jude wants nothing more than to belong there despite her mortality. But many of the fate spies humans, especially Prince Cardan, the youngest and wickedest son of the High King. I smell a romance. To win a place at the court, she must defy him and face the consequences. Alright, and so we've got some more things in here, implying that there's going to be perhaps some bloodshed during this, and lots of adventure, fairy, fae goodness. So, here we go. The Cruel Prince. As I was checking out at that bookstore, the lady that was checking out, she goes, I want to read that book so badly. Please tell me there's another copy on the shelf back there. And I said, there's one more. So hopefully she ran back there and got herself a copy so that she can read it. All right, the last book is one I found in the outlet section of the store. And it wasn't one that I went in anticipating on buying, but it was a good deal, and it's something that I haven't read yet, and I thought, well, what the heck, plus my students are really going to love this. It is a bind-up, Life and Death, and Twilight, 10th Anniversary Edition. So, I have, of course, read Twilight, but I haven't read Life and Death, and from what I understand, this is kind of a reimagining of the original Twilight story, but the genders are switched. So, Bella is now Beau, and Edward is Edith, and so they're kind of just same story, different gender roles. Alright, so you can read Life and Death and then flip it over and read Twilight, or vice versa. I have some girls in my classroom this year that are totally gaga over the Twilight books, and they're going to be so excited to see this one. Of course, one of them got in trouble because she wasn't supposed to be reading Twilight, and I didn't know that. And her mom called and said, why is she reading Twilight? And I went, because I didn't know she couldn't. So kids out there, always check with your parents and make sure that they're okay with what you're reading. There's my lesson for the day. All right, now just a couple of other fun things I got. When I was at another store, I went into the toy section, just kind of browse, because I don't live in a place where there are actual real stores other than a grocery store. So when I have some time on my own to just wander, I do. And I ended up finding some things that were on sale that also looked like they would be super fun. So I have a little game here called 30-Second Mysteries, and I thought this would be a fun game to have in my classroom. And also, I read the back, and it was, well, let me just read it to you. It says, the case. A boy arrives by train to his new school. The school is the best of its kind, but it doesn't appear on any map, nor does it appear on any list of best schools. The school is British, but not in Britain. The mystery. What is the name of the school, and who are the famous students? Now, some of you might already know this, okay? But there are other clues. The school is actually a converted castle. An owl is the school's official mascot. The school students don't use brooms for sweeping. J.K. Rowling brought the school to life in her series of best-selling books. Now, if you didn't get it already, that last one should have nailed it for you. Of course, this school is Hogwarts, and the famous students are Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, Ron Weasley, Draco Malfoy, Tom Riddle, Neville Longbottom. You know all of them. All right, the last 3 items on my little bag here are some Mystery Mini Beauty and the Beast little vinyls, and I saw one sitting there, and I thought, well, I can't just get one because I have this weird lack of self-control, I suppose, and so I decided to get 3. So we're going to do 3 little Mystery Mini unboxings here, and hopefully they're not all the same one, because we don't want to repeat. Now, Mystery Minis are fun because there's a bag inside the box, so you get to like double unbox them, which is awesome. And I apologize for the noise of the plastic. Oh, okay. All right. So the first one is Belle in her classic beautiful yellow golden dress with her red rose. That is really fun. Now, I had a student give me Belle in the wedding dress, which you can see on this box here is, oops, go this way. Here, this is the white dress with the flowered embroidery. So I already have that one and this Belle. So hopefully these other two aren't repeats. So in the second box, who shall it be? Aw, nuts. Same Belle. The good thing about having students, as well as nieces and nephews, is I can always give stuff away. So, bummer. I guess that is a risk you take when you buy mystery things because you don't know what they're going to get. So that's half the fun. All right, now, I've got one more. If it's another Belle in yellow dress, I'm going to be so sad. And I might have to have a word with the store because it's not their fault, I guess. I wouldn't have the word with the store. Why would they put a whole bunch of the same character in one display? I don't know. Okay, last one. This is not Belle in the yellow dress. Ta-da! Is this LeFou or Gaston? I gotta look at my... Yeah, this is not, because Gaston has the ruffly shirt. I watched this movie yesterday. I should know this. So this has got to be LeFou. And I'm okay with that. You know, he was a good guy in this new live-action Disney movie. You know, LeFou's always been kind of just the skeezy tag-along guy with Gaston. But in this newer live-action one, LeFou starts to realize that Gaston's a jerk. And especially when they're singing the song Kill the Beast, and he says, I'm afraid the wrong monster's released, because he's talking about Gaston and how he's kind of out of control, and what did we just do? So I am so happy that LeFou kind of realizes, gosh, this guy that I have admired my whole life is a big jerk. So good for you, LeFou. Alright, so I hope you have enjoyed this book haul / mystery mini unboxing, and I will let you know how these books go. As always, my TBR is way bigger than I can even imagine, so I don't know how many reviews I'll get to be posting online. I am way behind on doing book reviews, but I'll get there eventually. Anyway, I hope you are all having a wonderful holiday break, and I will see you soon for some unboxing fun, maybe even tomorrow. We shall see. As always, have a lovely day. Happy reading. Adios.